Hello everyone, so now we are going to do one lab. In this one we are going to learn about DHCP. Imagine you are working in an organization, you have DHCP server. Okay, we will do the lab in the packet tracer, but we will do as a real scenario. Imagine this is a Windows server that is DHCP in your organization. Okay, DHCP server you have in your organization, that is a Windows 9, that is what we can say Windows server 2019. Okay, in your organization you have Windows Server 2019, and no need to worry about this one. Like you are a network engineer, but there is another guy who is a system admin. That guy is going to configure the DHCP server in Windows 2019. Okay, so imagine that guy configure the Windows server, that is a DHCP server. After that you need to configure that in your switch here and here, something you need to configure so your different VLAN can get the IP address. Okay, different VLAN can get the IP address. So what I am saying, we are for simplicity we are using only 3 VLAN: VLAN 1, VLAN 2 and VLAN 3. These are the 3 VLAN we are using in our lab, but imagine in your organization maybe you will have 20 to 30 VLAN. If you are working in the ISP, maybe you have 4000 VLAN, but in the enterprise network maybe you have 30 to 40 VLAN. That is more than enough. Okay, 1 2 3 so on till 40. But anyhow, in our lab we are using 3 VLAN: VLAN 1, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and we are going to configure the SVI here, switch virtual interface. I hope you know this one. In CCNA we already learned this one, switch. Okay, SVI, switch virtual interface. So what we will do, this one VLAN 1, VLAN 10, VLAN 20. Okay, switch virtual interface we are going to assign 192.168.1.1 for VLAN 1, and for VLAN 10 192.168.10.1. for VLAN 20 we are going to use 192.168.20.1. okay, this is your IP schema, remember this one. And the guy is configuring in your server, and he used this IP 192.168.1.2 because 1.1 we use here, so he is using 1.2. so he will ask you what gateway you need, so you need to give the SVI IP as a gateway. So imagine your company guy is configuring the server, Windows server. There will be some different step, but here we will do. Imagine the system admin, whoever is working on the servers, that guy is configuring the DHCP server. Okay, and he is giving this IP as 192.168.1.2 and the default subnet mask, and the gateway should be the SVI IP. Okay, whatever the gateway, you should give the SVI, this one. So we give that one. Okay, after that here DNS we can use Google DNS, anything we can use. For lab purpose I will keep Google DNS. So what I done, just I assign the IP to the DHCP server. Only we assign the IP to the DHCP server, this one 192.168.1.2, and gateway should be the SVI IP of the VLAN 1. Why VLAN 1? Because I am using here VLAN 1 IP. If you are using VLAN 10, you can give that one, because this should be same network. If you have different network, then you will have the issue. So I am using 192.168.1 dot something, so gateway should also 1 dot something. Okay, so I am giving the SVI IP as a gateway. You need to remember this. After that we will go in the services and go in the DHCP, and if you see here in the DHCP you will have off before, then you need to on that one. But in the real scenario, DHCP configuration in the Windows Server 2019 is different, not like this what we are doing in the packet tracer. And no need to worry, you are not going to configure DHCP server if you are a network engineer. The system guy, the system or server guy is going to do for you that one. If the company is small, maybe you will do everything, but if the company is good and big, then there is a separate guy, security guy for the firewall, and the network guy for the router switches and the SNMP, all that one, and you will have the system guy for the server side. But anyhow, no issue. So what we will do here, I will create one, what we can say, let me put here, this is a VLAN 1. So gateway I will give 192.168.1.1. okay, and DNS we can give anything. I will write Google DNS, and IP should start, we will say start from 3. Okay, this one default setting we have server pool. I save. Now we are going to create. I will create for VLAN 10. So I will write VLAN 10, and here should be 192.168.10.1. Why I am writing 10.1? Because you need to give the gateway as this is a default gateway for this IP. Default gateway should be SVI. SVI is 192.168.10.1 for VLAN 10. So I wrote that one. This is a DNS, and here should be 10.3, and this is same. I will add this one. Okay, one entry came. Now I need to do for VLAN 20. So I will do VLAN 20, and here also 20, and then after that here also 20. After that everything is okay, then add this one. So we added in the server. So DHCP configuration finish, your server guide done that one. Now is your role, you need to configure here. So this is a new switch, multi-layer switch. This is a layer 3 switch. So what we need to do here, okay, let me move this little here so we can see the switch screen also. And if you see here, this is a brand new switch. I will first rename here like host name SW1. After that I will see whatever interface is connecting F0 by 3, F0 by 2, F0 by 1. F0 by 1, F0 by 2 is a trunk because it is connecting to the switch. And also here we are going to get the multiple VLAN data, so I am going to put this also trunk. So what I will write interface range F0 by 1 dash 3 switch port trunk encapsulation .1q switch port mode trunk. Okay, so what I done, I make this interface as a trunk F0 by 1, F0 by 2, F0 by 3. First thing finish, we make the trunk. Now we need to create the VLAN. So what I will do, I will create VLAN 10. I will give the name as a IT, any name we can give. Okay, for lab purpose I am giving this name. I will create VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. After that I need to assign the IP also. We need to do the SVI. So I will write interface VLAN 1 and then IP address 192.168.1.1 255.255.255.0. Then I will write no shut. What I done, this one I assigned for VLAN 1. Whatever we plan, we give that IP to VLAN 1. Okay, this is known as SVI, switch virtual interface. After that I will do for the VLAN 10 also. Okay, so I will write IP address 192.168.10.1 255.255.255.0 and no shut. No need to write, or already this VLAN 10 is up, but anyhow VLAN 10 is finished. Now we need to do for VLAN 20. So I will write here IP address 192.168.20.1 255.255.255.0. okay, let me do something wrong here. Okay, I did not go inside VLAN 20. First we need to go inside VLAN 20, interface VLAN 20. Okay, now I am inside the VLAN 20. I will write IP address, I will write here 192.168.20.1, give space 255.255.255.0 and write no shut here. Okay, what I done, just I assign this one VLAN 1, VLAN 10, VLAN 20. Whatever IP we plan, I put that IP here only. Okay, after that I need to enable the routing, so I will write IP routing. With this command I enable the routing here, and also I need to give the IP helper command. So I will write interface VLAN 1. Under that VLAN we need to give IP helper, and we need to give the IP address of our DHCP server. So what is the IP address of DHCP server? 1.2 192.168.1.2. So I give this one in the VLAN 1. Then again I will give in the VLAN, not VLAN 2, I will give in the VLAN 10. Okay, we have VLAN 10, right? So this one. Then I will give in the VLAN 20. So this one. Okay, so what I done here, let me repeat again. First we put the port as a trunk. After that we created the VLAN. Okay, whatever VLAN we are using, and we assign the IP, that is the IP whatever we plan, 1.1 10.1 1.1 10.1 and the 20.1. After that we give the IP helper command inside the VLAN 1, VLAN 2, that is VLAN 10, VLAN 1, VLAN 20, and we enable the IP routing. Okay, and then after that we will go to this access layer switch, and here in this access layer switch, what we will do, I will rename this switch, host name as SW2, interface fast Ethernet 0/3. I will make this as a trunk, switch port mode trunk. Okay, this interface I make as a trunk. After that, this interface I will put in the VLAN 10 and this one in the VLAN 20. So I will write interface fast Ethernet 0/1, switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, I put this interface in VLAN 10. VLAN 10 is not there, so they created. Okay, let me create VLAN 20 also. Name I can give sales, and interface VLAN 10, before it is not there, already they created. 1 minute, let me write here VLAN 10. I will give name as IT. We give same name right here. Whatever name we give, we can follow that one. What name we give? VLAN IT is VLAN. Okay, VLAN 10 is IT. Okay, VLAN 10 is IT. So let me go here. VLAN 10 is IT. Okay, and VLAN 20 is sales. So everything is good here. Now what I need to do? I need to assign the interface. So I will write interface fast Ethernet 0/1. I will write switch port access VLAN 10. Then other interface fast Ethernet 0/2, switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, so what I done here, let me put some colors here so you can easily track which VLAN for what, like this. So this is the VLAN 10, this is the VLAN 10 without color. Okay, this is also VLAN 10 without color, and after that this will be VLAN 20. Okay, so now what I will do here, we will go here and I will put here static and DHCP. If you see, I get the IP here from the DHCP server. I get the IP 192.168.10.3. I put this is in the VLAN 10. So what IP I get? 10.3 and the gateway 10.1, this one. And if you see this one, I assign to the VLAN. Let me do again. This is VLAN 20, so we get the IP 192.168.20.3 and 20.1 is a gateway. So we get this one. How we are getting? Different VLAN. If you see here, we have different VLAN. This is a VLAN 10, this is a VLAN 20, and DHCP server is here. He is having 192.168.1.2. Okay, let me configure this switch also, so you can check the other also. I will write here config T, host name I will write switch 3. After that I will put the interface in the trunk, this F1/0. So I will write interface fast Ethernet F0/1, switch port mode trunk. Okay, after that we will put this interface F0/2 in the VLAN 10, F0/2 interface F0/2, switch port access VLAN 10. And then because we don't have VLAN, so it is created. Let me give the name VLAN 10 as IT, or what name we give, we can give same name. VLAN 10 is IT, yes. So VLAN 10 is IT and VLAN 20 is sale. So now I will put interface fast Ethernet 0/3 in the switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, now you will get the IP here also. You need to wait some time or do this fast forward and go here, go in here. Now click again and click this one. Okay, so you will get 10.4. This is VLAN 10, so we get 10.4. If you see this one, we get here, let me reset. Okay, let's see here 20.4. so this is in the VLAN 20, this is in the VLAN 10. So hence our lab successfully completed. Okay, if you see here what we done here, just we created the VLAN inside the access layer switch and we put that port in that VLAN, particular VLAN. This port F0/1 here and F0/2 is in the VLAN 10, and we check we are getting the IP to this machine 192.168.10.3 and the gateway is 10.1. Okay, so this lab is successfully done here. If you are having confusion, I will put the configuration in the notepad. Here what I done. Okay, here what I done. If you want, I can put that configuration in the notepad. Let me write down this very fastly in the notepad. So what I done, this is the, I will say many VLAN lab or DHCP, anything we can give DHCP lab for different VLAN, okay, something like this. And here I will write here switch 1, okay, switch 1 configuration, enable config T, host name SW1, okay. Here we told VLAN 10 as a name as a IT, and then VLAN 20 name as a sales, name as sales, and we will enable IP routing here. After that, what we done here, we write interface VLAN 1, IP address 192.168.1.1, 255.255.255.0, no shut, okay. And then interface, give me, let me give some space, interface VLAN 10, IP address 192.168.10.1, 255.255.255.0, and no shut here. Then interface VLAN 20 and IP address, we have 192.168.20.1, 255.255.255.0, and right here no shut, okay. What else we done here? And also we need to do IP helper command. If you see this one, let me copy so I can paste that directly, this one, okay. IP helper command, where we will put here wherever we assign under this interface, okay, under this interface, okay. What else? I hope we created VLAN, and also we put the interface in the trunk. So I will write here interface range F0 by dash, okay, 1-3, switch port trunk encapsulation .1q, okay, .1q. Or if you want, I can copy the same command full form. First we created that one, if you remember this one. Let's see it came or no. This one, okay, sorry, something go wrong. Let me copy again where it is, this one. I think now it came. Anyhow, let me try, or we can type also, no issue, but anyhow let me see here. Yeah, it came. After that, switch port mode trunk, okay, this one. So we make interface as a trunk, then IP routing, then inter VLAN helper command, okay. What else we done? This much only, I think. Let me check here. This is interface, then we created VLAN, inter VLAN, IP helper, that's all. Here let me check, I create VLAN right here, where I create, yeah. So this is a switch 1 configuration. Switch 2 is very simple. Let me do here very fast. Here is the switch 2 configuration. Simple configuration, enable config T, host name SW2, then interface fast Ethernet 0/3, switch port mode trunk, then interface F0/1, switch port access VLAN 10, and interface fast Ethernet 0/2, switch port access VLAN 20, okay. And same configuration for switch 3. Let me copy and paste here, this one. If you see here, this should be 3 and here should be 3, and interface F0/1, this should be F0/1, and F0/2, this one, this is F0/3, okay. That's all. And here we create also VLAN, so let me write here VLAN we created, right? like VLAN 10 name IT, VLAN 20 name sales. So same thing we done here. If we are using VTP, automatically it will come. Anyhow we are not using VTP here. Okay, that's all. So I hope it is clear for you, and after that we go here and we click this way like this, and you will get the IP from the DHCP. Okay, you are getting the IP from the DHCP. Thank you. This is a lab for DHCP lab, how we can get the IP if we have multiple VLAN in our network from the Windows Server 2019. If that guy is giving the IP, how we can get VLAN in this lab. Okay, if you are using router, then we can use the router on a stick and we can do, but this is another technique, because in the real scenario you will find these types of setup. Okay, thank you.